Jefferson was America's third president, but the love of his life could never be his first lady.
I have given you children, and I'm not the one sitting next to you at dinner.
She loved in secret.
And remember, Bonanza guarantees the best price.
A Jane Fonda exclusive on the Jean Benet TV movie on ET.
The internet crime wave. As websites add up their losses, we'll show you extraordinary steps being taken to protect your money. Southern hostility. McCain says Bush has started using push polls in South Carolina. And eliminating the marriage penalty tax. Republicans and Democrats exchange vows and threats.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The U.S. Justice Department made it clear today the worst hack attack to date on the internet will not be treated as a prank, but a serious crime. A private consulting group estimates the cost of this week's sabotage at $1.2 billion. That's $1 billion off the stock prices of the companies affected, plus $100 million in lost sales and advertising, and at least another $100 million needed to upgrade security to protect against these kinds of attacks. CBS's Jim Stewart is covering the search for the internet criminals.
FBI officials say they have lots of leads and have even begun interviewing potential suspects in the nation's biggest computer attack case to date. But where it all takes them, they admit they still don't have a clue.
You never know who you're dealing with. It could be anywhere from a teenager to even a state-sponsored or terrorist act of some kind.
Much of the Bureau's attention appears to be focused on California. But the problem, say investigators, is that a good computer hacker can hide within the internet and pretend to be places he's not. Using a tactic called spoofing, someone in, say, San Jose could secretly forward commands through a university's computers in Michigan to attack websites in Texas. Or even worse, the whole thing could be originating overseas. FBI agents, meanwhile, are busy decoding the return addresses like these in the hunt for hacker commands, which shut down or stall several of the nation's most popular websites. They're also being flooded by tips from people who've been monitoring chat rooms where the attack is big news.
They're calling us with information of suspects that they believe that have discussed doing this kind of activity.
Motive is still the biggest unanswered question. Many convicted hackers like Kevin Mitnick, who stole cellular phone codes, like to boast of their expertise, but no one has claimed credit for this attack.
These are people who are criminals, and we will do all that we can to find them, to prosecute them, and to put them in jail.
The current penalty for computer fraud and abuse is 5 years in prison and a large fine. But the Justice Department has made it clear that it's growing weary of these cyberspace aggravations and may soon seek a significant increase in jail time. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
Beyond the cost and aggravation of hack attacks, the worst case internet scenario for most people is something that's happened only on a small scale. That is, the actual theft of money or data from online financial institutions such as banks. But it has happened. In tonight's Eye on America, CBS's Wyatt Andrews shows you how banks and brokerages are fighting a daily battle against hackers and preparing for all-out war.
For all the inconvenience the hack attackers caused this week, they did not steal any money or rob any banks. But it's not as if hackers don't try.
We estimate anywhere from 100 to 1,000 attempts per day per institution.
Catherine Allen runs a consortium of 100 banks and brokerage firms that have joined to fend off the daily hacking assault on the banking system. They do it by trying to outsmart the hackers.
You try to hack yourself.
We try to hack ourselves, and most financial institutions employ ethical hackers as well.
And this is where it's done. At Global Integrity's cybersecurity lab in Virginia, some of the nation's biggest banks have hired some of the smartest hackers, white hat hackers they are called, to literally penetrate and then, if they can, rob the bank.
Is it fair to say that they're successful sometimes?
Sometimes they're successful. Sometimes they get in.
They then tell the banks how they got in, how much they stole, and how the gaps in software security can be closed. The industry also traces in real time any attempt to hack a bank's computer.
The bank robbers of the past use guns. The bank robbers of the future use the internet.
The problem, though, is that we're in a race with the bad guys.
Michael Vadas of the FBI tracks the rising number of criminals who hack for money.
They're skills and their knowledge is increasing very quickly, and it's imperative that security be speeded up to respond to the threat.
When you consider credit card transactions, ATM machines, online banking, and online stock trades, computer networks now handle hundreds of billions of dollars. This is where the money is. So E-Trade and Yahoo suffered nuisance attacks this week. But the high-stakes online war to protect your credit cards and money is being waged here every day. In Herndon, Virginia, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
On the CBS Market Watch, technology stocks hit hard yesterday by the cyber crime shock, bounced back today. The tech-heavy NASDAQ shot up 122 points to close at a record high. The Dow blue chips went the other way, down 55. More potential problems have turned up on a crucial stabilizer part on MD-80 series jetliners. Inspectors today grounded 2 Alaska Airlines jets, the same airline involved in last week's MD-83 crash in the Pacific. And CBS's Bob Orr reports federal air safety regulators are now taking further action. Bob?
Dan, the FAA tonight is ordering all airlines to immediately inspect all of their MD-80s and DC-9s for possible problems in the tail sections of those jets. The order comes after Alaska Airlines found metal shavings in the jack screw assemblies on 2 of its MD-80s. Those 2 planes for now have been grounded. The jack screw is the part that moves the horizontal stabilizer, and it's the same part that is the focus now of the investigation into the crash of Alaska Flight 261. There are about 1,100 MD-80s and DC-9s flying in the United States. American Airlines, Delta, Northwest, and TWA have the largest fleets. Most airlines, we're told, have already begun their inspections, and to date, only Alaska has found any problems at all. Under the FAA order, though, all inspections must be completed by this weekend, and there could be some travel delays. Dan?
Bob Orr, thanks. The Republican presidential campaign has just got a lot nastier. One of the dirtiest secrets of political attack strategies hit the spotlight today, something called push polling. Push polling involves political pollsters who are not seeking voter opinions, but trying to sway them under the guise of polling. In this case, it's reportedly a pro-Bush line of attack aimed at John McCain in South Carolina. CBS's Bill Whitaker is there.
You may have thought it couldn't get any tougher in the Republican campaign. Well, it did today. And it started when this woman in Spartanburg, South Carolina, told John McCain her son received a call from a so-called pollster who flat out attacked the senator.
But he was so upset when he came upstairs and he said, "Mom, someone told me that Senator McCain is a cheat and a liar and a fraud." And he was almost in tears. I was so livid last night I couldn't sleep.
The woman, Donna Duren, never said who made the call, but McCain immediately blamed the Bush campaign.
What you've just told me has had a very profound effect on me. I promise you I have never and will never have anything to do with that kind of political tactic.
Campaigning down the road, the Bush camp admits it did standard polling and made get-out-the-vote calls this week, but denied any knowledge of such underhanded tactics.
I don't know who made this call, but I don't believe it's from my campaign. If it is from my campaign, they're not going to be on my campaign anymore.
The brouhaha is over something called push polling, where a pollster for one candidate calls supporters of an opponent and attempts to sway opinions with distorted questions. In fact, McCain claims Bush pollsters called around earlier this week with clearly misleading questions like this. Do you know the McCain tax plan does not give a significant tax cut to average working families? Do you agree with McCain's plan to give more power to the media and unions to pick the president? Bush claims McCain has done push polling too. Late today, McCain called for a truce. The governor said it's too late.
Chairman McCain is running a commercial I see as negative and says I'm like Bill Clinton, and I don't appreciate it, and neither does a lot of people in this state.
And it could get nastier. Governor Bush implied again today that McCain is hypocritical, railing against special interests while accepting money from lobbyists. Dan?
Bill Whitaker. When we come back, veteran political reporter Bob Schieffer will give you a closer look at the rapidly changing political landscape in South Carolina. Also tonight, a marital spat. Republicans say I do, Democrats say they won't. And in the cold of winter, the Iceman cometh.
Ask your doctor about Nasonex, the prescription nasal allergy spray that's non-drowsy and won't keep you up at night, taken once a day for relief from nasal allergy worries indoors and out. Approved for children 3 years and up. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing. Nasonex, because the less to worry about, the better.
In clinical studies, a leading pain medicine significantly reduced minor arthritis pain, increasing range of motion and flexibility. You may be surprised. The medicine in these studies wasn't a pill. It was Bengay. And now, when you use ultra-strength Bengay for your aches and pains, you get the heating power of 3 pain relievers to help you feel better and move better. Ultra-strength Bengay, medicine for your moving parts.
Around here, it's not every day we all get together.
Oh, we're making them dinner. Come on, you guys. Smaller pieces, please.
But when we do, it's great that the folks at Kraft make Italian.
I love this stuff.
Because it's the one thing we agree on. That way, we can talk about what's on our minds instead of what's on our plates.
Whose idea was this? Well, Kale has a boyfriend.
I guess they just know what we like.
A what? He's a senior. He's a senior.
Around here, the dressing is Kraft.
The February 19th Republican presidential primary in South Carolina was supposed to be a surefire win for George W. Bush. Yet current indications are John McCain is surging there, and that apparently has led to the race becoming much rougher. So what's going on? CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Bob Schieffer went to South Carolina and has context and perspective for you tonight on what's changed there and why.
Picture postcard South Carolina, where old times are not forgotten and upstarts who take on the Republican establishment are taken down to size. South Carolina rescued establishment candidate George Bush from upstart challenger Bob Dole in '88 and helped Dole finish off Pat Buchanan in '96. But times have changed, and that's the problem for George W. Bush. Carroll Campbell, the once powerful governor who engineered Bush Sr.'s victory, sticks to Bush the younger like glue. But he's just a lobbyist now. The party is fractured. The highest-ranking Republican at the Capitol is Lieutenant Governor Bob Peeler, a Bush man for sure, but the first to admit,
I'm kind of new to this. My only other elective office was chairman of my local school board.
What really irked the old guard was popular young Congressman Mark Sanford and Lindsey Graham backing McCain. But Graham says McCain has changed the landscape.
What John has been able to do is get people fired up about voting again.
And that's why Bush suddenly has his hands full, says neutral political scientist Cole Blease Graham.
I don't think you can take South Carolina for granted. McCain is energizing this independent voter.
He means people like the upscale workers and middle managers at the BMW plant. What is resonating with such voters is McCain's pledge to shake up Washington. And as he crisscrosses the state in his bus, he talks of little else. That's also why the Bush folks have a new line about their man.
But he is a reformer with results. He's reformed the welfare system in Texas. He's reformed education.
And the argument over who's the reformer has turned it nasty.
It's one thing to talk campaign funding reform out of one hand, on the other hand, say pass the plate. He's receiving a lot of help from lobbyists and special interests that he's railing against.
A funny thing happened on the way to the coronation. Before, when I was 30 points down in the polls, we were buddies. When I beat him in New Hampshire, I became a hypocrite. Very interesting.
Whatever else can be said, the whole dynamic in this campaign has changed. 2 weeks ago, people were saying that John McCain had to win here or his campaign was doomed. Now some of those same people are saying it's George Bush who needs a win here and needs it badly. Bob Schieffer, CBS News, Columbia, South Carolina.
Democrats Al Gore and Bill Bradley are concentrating now on California, the single biggest delegate prize on Super Tuesday, March 7th. They've been battling for the core Democratic constituencies, including African Americans, older people, and women. The polls, if you choose to believe them, suggest Bradley has failed to connect so far, and Gore may be pulling away. Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News, we'll report to you in depth on the Gore-Bradley battle for California. Up next tonight, a move to end what's called the marriage penalty tax. Better watch our reality check before you try to spend it.
How much power do you really need? The Sierra Extended Cab has the most powerful standard engine of any truck in its class. Not because you need it now, but because one day you will. And And being prepared for that day is what having a professional-grade truck is all about. The GMC Sierra, above and beyond.
Nobody does it like you.
Boy, they love to play horsey. So your carpet better be deep down clean. And for that, you need Hoover. Hey, you want the best, partner? Introducing the Hoover Steam Vac Wide Path. It sends hot water surging through 6 rotating brushes to stir up and pull out deep down dirt the way no other carpet cleaner can.
Hoover.
If you want clean, deep down, you want Hoover.
Give me the chili.
It's hot.
It's the way I like it.
Eat like a kid again. Tagamet stops stomach acid faster than Pepsid. The kid is back.
Chili's still hot.
Yeah.
My doctor said occasional personal dryness is natural. She recommended KY. I chose new KY Silk E. Nothing feels more natural.
New KY Silk E with vitamin E from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring. It's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's being billed as an election year Valentine to voters. The Republican-controlled House this evening approved legislation to lift what's generally called the marriage penalty tax that millions of American couples now pay. No one is for the marriage penalty, mind you, but if you think that's the end of it, you may be divorced from reality. Just watch this reality check by CBS's Diana Olick.
Last year, Sean and Renee Richardson vowed to spend their lives together. This week, romance met reality when they sat down to do their taxes together.
We had been told about the marriage penalty tax, and we weren't sure of how it would affect us.
They found out fast. Sean works for CBS, Renee for a literacy group. If they were single, they could each take a $4,300 standard deduction. But as a married couple, their joint deduction is only $7,200. Add it up, and they're out $1,400 in deductions.
It seems like the bottom line is any married couple that are dual income earners are the ones that are taxed and penalized, and that does seem unfair.
And everyone agrees. Republicans and Democrats and President Clinton all want to get rid of it. So the Republicans offered a $182 billion plan to wipe it out. Easy enough, right? Wrong.
This is not for married people. They could have gone to Hallmark if they wanted to do something for Valentine's Day.
Democrats say the plan is too expensive, but the bigger problem is it's an election year, and that spells trouble for even the easiest legislation.
The forces of foolishness are fighting against this common sense legislation.
What we simply said is if you're going to spend $200 billion, let's do both the prescription drug benefit and the marriage penalty reduction.
Translation, if the Republicans are going to get this popular victory, then the Democrats want something too.
It's like Ronald Reagan said over a decade ago, here they go again.
The House did pass the bill today, but Senate Democrats are threatening to bury it, and the president says he may veto it. Meanwhile, Sean and Renee are redoing their budget. Diana Olick, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
On the CBS Health Watch, more Americans may be having strokes. A Mayo Clinic study says the increase follows years of steady declines in stroke cases. The aging of the U.S. population may be a factor.
Vegetables know what they like. Introducing Taste of Life dressings, new from Kraft. They're enriched with vitamin E and made with stuff your salad will love. New Taste of Life dressings from Kraft.
Hi, I'm Coach Thompson. Welcome to Trucks 101. Today's film is Get More, Spend Less. Roll it.
Need a new truck and a payment you can afford? New 2000 Ford Rangers, only $99 down, $99 a month. You heard it right. New Rangers, only $99 down, $99 a month. Only at Landmark Ford Truck City.
To review, Landmark Ford is Truck City. At Truck City, you get more, spend less every day. See you all here tomorrow.
Minutes away in Tigard. I-5 at Haynes.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Oh, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but fat-free Newtons are fruit and cake.
What's this? Dessert?
Newton's cobblers. Even more fruit and cake.
Oh, why didn't you bring them round?
And where would you have put them?
Come, Freddie.
Now there's a free CD-ROM from Strong Investments that can help keep your retirement dreams from slipping away. Just call 1-888-2-STRONG and it's yours free. You're one call away from a strong portfolio.
To help you find the perfect gift for your Valentine, Gifts.com does some rather thorough testing. The gift. Gifts.com. Just the perfect Valentine's gifts. Get a free Valentine's Day bouquet with your purchase of $50 or more.
Iraqi gunners opened fire on U.S. military planes in northern Iraq today, and the Americans shot back. Iraq says 2 civilians were wounded. It was the 3rd straight day of hostilities in the northern no-fly zone. Iraq is also putting up a hostile defense to the UN's new arms inspection plans. A top aide to Saddam Hussein said today those inspectors will not be allowed in the country. Russia's war in Chechnya has entered a new phase. With their capital destroyed by Russian bombs, the Chechen rebels are now mounting hit-and-run attacks in the countryside. CBS's David Hawkins reports another battle is underway now over how the war is reported. The Kremlin accused of brutality there as well.
Andrei Babitsky is one of the few correspondents who's covered Russia's war in Chechnya from the Chechen side. His reports for Radio Liberty and Radio Free Europe, U.S. government-funded networks, often contradicted Moscow's propaganda and won him many enemies in the Kremlin and in Russia's military. Russian authorities arrested Babitsky in Chechnya 3 weeks ago. Last week, they said they traded the reporter, a Russian citizen, to a Chechen warlord in exchange for 2 Russian prisoners of war. The Kremlin spokesman says Moscow has washed its hands of any responsibility for his safety.
I thought that was his death sentence.
But Radio Liberty officials now believe the bizarre hostage exchange, videotaped by Russia's security services, was a hoax. There's evidence that Babitsky is still in Russian custody. Today, Radio Liberty received a letter from a Russian soldier saying he witnessed Babitsky being tortured.
This person told us that he's being beaten with tools that do not leave traces.
Babitsky's colleagues fear the worst, that Moscow is making an example of the reporter as a warning to other journalists. Russian television networks broadcast this tape of Babitsky, allegedly made on Monday. In it, he says, "I'm relatively okay. I want all this to end as soon as possible." The U.S. State Department is demanding that the Russians come clean on what's happened to the Radio Liberty reporter. Perhaps only one thing is clear. Andrei Babitsky has become a symbol of a free press in Russia, and right now he and it are in trouble. David Hawkins, CBS News, Moscow.
Straight ahead on CBS, the scenic and interesting battle to keep crucial river routes for fuel deliveries from becoming frozen assets.
Actually, investing online, when you make a decision, is very effective, it's very efficient, it's low cost. People have great information today on accounts, annual information, inventory, sales. It's information that used to take weeks, months, and they used to not even be able to get it. Now it's right there. That's Fidelity technology. When you come to Fidelity.com, you can get the tools to make you a more responsible investor.
Here's your regular internet homepage, and here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo, Excite, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
If my friend used this at work secretly and she won, would her boss get the money?
No, your friend would get the money.
It's good to know.
Introducing I1.com. Why wouldn't you?
I don't want to run a marathon. I don't want to go skydiving. I don't want to feel like a kid again. Though, not feeling ancient would be nice. All I really want is to be able to climb the stairs and give Michael a bath.
Vioxx is here, a prescription medicine for the most common type of arthritis pain, osteoarthritis. One little pill, taken just once a day, can provide 24-hour relief. In rare cases, serious stomach problems such as bleeding can occur without warning. People with allergic reactions such as asthma to aspirin or other arthritis medicines should not take Vioxx. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. For more information, ask your doctor or pharmacist about once daily Vioxx for the relief of osteoarthritis pain. And you may be able to plan your day around your life instead of your pain. Vioxx for everyday victories.
President Clinton is releasing an additional $130 million to help low-income people pay their soaring heating oil bills, especially in the Northeast. There's a special dimension to the fuel supply problem in one part of the Northeast. It's how to keep the fuel delivery route from being frozen solid. CBS's Jim Axelrod shows you a whole new definition for fuel crunch on the Weather Watch.
For the crew of the Coast Guard cutter Sturgeon Bay, this is what they live for. Crunching and clearing a path along the frozen Hudson River for the barges which supply heating oil to 1.5 million people in upstate New York.
From West Point, New York to Albany, we have almost 100% coverage of anywhere from 6 to 8 inches of ice.
In the last 3 weeks, the Coast Guard has chopped 36 barges out of the ice to keep the supply line going.
You know, gets the hair on the back of your neck up.
It's a maneuver captains can't simulate in training. Steering a 140-foot ship directly at an ice-imprisoned barge loaded with oil, slicing it loose, and then veering away with just feet to spare.
You just carve it out and keep, you know, if you missed, you circle back around and recarve it until you get it to where he can safely navigate the river.
Look all around this cutter. The ship is surrounded by ice. The worst conditions this crew has seen in half a dozen years. Hard to believe, perhaps. We're only 50 miles north of New York City. It looks more like 1,000.
You tell people you're on an icebreaker, and they say, well, where's the ice? And I say, up the Hudson River. And you have to see it to believe it.
The ice is 30 inches thick in some places, a floating playground where a crew working dawn till dusk can leave the ship for a few minutes break.
Sometimes I feel guilty about how much I wish for a harsh winter, but that's our job.
Perhaps the captain should be careful what he wishes for. Tonight, the latest path cleared by the ship will refreeze, and the crew will battle the ice once again in the morning. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, aboard Coast Guard cutter Sturgeon Bay.
And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later here on CBS with 48 Hours. Troy Roberts has a preview.
An American couple's adoption of a Russian girl goes horribly wrong.
This child I would consider to be a homicide risk.
Will they send her back?
When I dreamed of adopting a little girl, this was not my dream.
The Perfect Child, later on 48 Hours.
An adoption gone wrong on 48 Hours at 10 o'clock, 9 Central Time. Dan Rather reporting now for the CBS Evening News. Have a good evening.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
With Shirley Hancock and Mike Donahue.